Hey, welcome to my new studio here in Sacramento, California. We're going to delve into some incredible instruments that inspire me extremely consistently and talk about why each has earned their spot, despite me selling somewhere between 70 and 100 pieces of gear in the past couple of years. Moreover, we'll uncover the distinct character of each, discuss the collaboration between electronic musicians and their devices, and dive into the age-old debate of digital versus analog. So let's get started. Behold, the Eurorack Modular synthesizer. This intricate web of interconnected modules allows for complete customization and sound sculpting. This flexibility empowers me to create truly unique sounds that fit my creative vision in a highly logical, visual, tactile way. For example, my modular is designed to add a touch of saturation and character at every stage of the signal, from wave shaping the oscillators to a tube-driven mixer, into a filter known for saturation, to VCAs that can be overdriven, and effects that include tape emulation and a huge hand-slappable internal reverb tank. This is my dream synth, but it's expensive and time-consuming to do everything yourself. The way it fits into the rest of my setup is primarily through the choice of filter. This diode ladder filter, which is different from a Moog-style transistor ladder filter, is dirtier and complements other synths nicely while still standing out as being kind of wispy, reedy, and weird. This synth is my go-to for making crazy noises and modulations, and it has such a mind of its own that I can barely hang on. I also included two balanced inputs, a microphone, and an envelope follower, so I can use it as an effects processor for more traditional instruments, samples, VSTs, or anything else. Next up is the Korg MS-20. A legendary analog synth. Renowned for its rubbery, warm, angry, and aggressive tones, it's been a staple in electronic music since its introduction in the late 70s. The MS-20 features a semi-modular architecture, combining fixed signal paths with patch points for added versatility, although it doesn't work perfectly with my other modular stuff. It has two resonant filters, a high pass and a low pass, which saturate fantastically and are responsible for some of its quirky tendencies. It also has an external signal processor, which you can patch the internal synth into, like I have right here, or anything else for even more smudgy goodness. I have a deep emotional connection to this instrument, and I feel like it's part of my identity. I've been an MS-20 guy ever since I bought an MS-20 Mini when they first came out, and it completely blew my mind. When Korg reissued the full-size MS-20, I knew I wanted one because the slim keys felt kind of confusing to play. The instrument sounded so massive, but plinking around like a tiny puppet master just didn't make me feel like I wanted to feel, thundering out terrifying lines. When I'm playing an MS-20, it brings out this sardonic, dark side of me that doesn't come out really ever otherwise. That being said, it doesn't fit into a mix as easily as a Moog or my modular because the resonance on the filters are always begging to be cranked. It likes to do its own thing, and I'm okay with that. Now let's explore the Moog Matriach, a semi-modular analog synth. With its 4 analog oscillators, powerful ladder filters, and warm, dark delay, I had an instant connection with the Matriach the first time I demoed one at Guitar Center. The way the oscillators drive the mixer and filter together is glorious, and being able to change their individual octaves instantly gets you out of your comfort zone in the same old chord voicings you always play. The Matriarch was a huge source of inspiration for my modular system in that it very obviously saturates and distorts the sound in every stage of the signal, allowing the sum total of the components to truly feel alive when you're playing it. From the asymmetrically clipping mixer to the quintessential sound of the transistor ladder filters, it does things that feel good extremely reliably. It's my go-to for basses and leads because it always just sounds right. I place a lot of value on sound design that feels comfortable, and the Matriarch is like one giant sweet spot, so it gets a lot of practical use. Lastly, we have the Korg Opsix, a digital powerhouse. Unlike traditional analog synths, the Opsix is based on digital FM synthesis, using algorithms to generate sound. This allows for complex and evolving textures that would be challenging or impossible to achieve with analog circuitry. It's essentially a VST plugin in a keyboard-shaped box, so it's no coincidence that I use the Opsix in a lot of situations where I could use a laptop. Maybe I want a polyphonic sound with an amp sim, reverb, and the output to be entirely 12-bit, running at a low sample rate. This would be my go-to. Or if I'm playing a gig, this is what I reach for first because I hate seeing laptops on stage. I feel like musical performances are better when they feel kind of magical, and a laptop is just a huge reminder that magic doesn't exist. It's called preparation, science, technology. It's just another calculation. You know, you are too, actually. But its tendency isn't to sound very natural outside of metallic clinks. I find myself spending a lot of time massaging life into patches that come out sounding relatively simple and agreeable when they're really quite complex underneath. Whereas on a different synth, it only takes me like 30 seconds. I don't really use my computer and plugins as a synthesizer anymore because I have so many other options, but in my experience, plugins like this can sound really good, especially if they're mixed well. The choice between digital and analog synths has been a long-standing debate in the musical community. Analog synths are favored for their warm, organic, easy to use, and often unpredictable nature, while digital synths offer pristine clarity, control, and a vast array of possibilities. Ultimately, it comes down to personal preference and the desired sound palette. Digital sounds can be accessed with analog instruments by multi-tracking and using effects plugins, and analog sounds can be recreated in the digital domain with a couple clicks. I tend towards analog instruments because for me, part of the magic of music and synthesizers is in creating something from nothing and sculpting the timbre as I go. This requires a decent sweet spot, hands-on control, and probably doesn't involve presets at all, honestly. If I'm working on sound design and I don't find the sound inspiring for too long, I'm like a ticking time bomb. The TV is right over there, there's a whole world to explore in my phone, and I have responsibilities. If I'm not getting lost in the sauce, I may realize that I need to do something else. With the right instrument, that can all fly right out the window because it pulls you into the flow state like a black hole. Every synth voice I've ever played has its own distinct character that inspires or doesn't inspire me in a unique way. Electronic music at its core is a collaboration between the artist and the instrument. Just like at a party where people may choose to spend time with their friends that bring out their wild side, musicians like me pick their synths to access and express certain feelings, emotions, and ideas. My recommendation is to pick one that you connect with emotionally and stick with that. And it's okay if that changes over time. Just be thankful for your instrument's contributions to your growth as a musician. Sell it and try a different one. And there you have it, a journey through the world of synth voices. From my custom Eurorack Modular system to the iconic Korg MS-20, the reliable Moog Matriarch, and the powerful Korg Opsix. Each instrument offers a unique experience and has earned its spot in my extremely limited space. Remember, electronic music isn't just about the mechanisms of sound. It's about embracing the soul of your instrument to bring your music to life. So explore, experiment, and chase that feeling that sets your creativity ablaze. See you next time.